I'm finally actually live at a good time. I'm actually live at a time where some people should be up, some people should be able to catch the stream. I'm not on TikTok, so that's a good thing. I'm not on TikTok, not on there. Hopefully, some people will be able to come into the stream, but I'll record this for whenever. But all right, we're on here. So, Christian fundamentalism is it is dying, and there's been studies that have come out that said that Christianity is dying and Christianity is passing away. I don't think Christianity is going to die. At least, I don't think that Christianity as a whole is going to die in the next 40 to 50 years from now. I've seen studies that say Christianity has 20 years left. I've seen studies that say probably 40 years. And I actually don't think that's the case. Let me see if I can turn the comments on here. Yeah, so when you guys comment, I should be able to see a comment come on the screen. But Christianity, I don't think Christianity is dying. I think that Christian fundamentalism is dying. Christian apologetics is dying, and people are just getting smart. People are getting smart, and people are waking up, and people are finding out new information. You guys know the book of Enoch is getting really popular, so people are talking about, have you read Enoch, or have you read Jasher, or have you read Jubilees, even though Jasher's fake? Have you read Jubilees? Have you read this? Have you read that? So people are digging into more things outside of the Bible. A lot of information that biblical scholars know about is finally trickling down to normal everyday people. The issue is now normal everyday people are receiving information that only scholars were able to have. Thousands are 200 years ago, but they don't have any of the academic methodology. Give me a second, real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, so people are finding out information, and the issue is that people don't have what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the methodology to decipher the information. So people know about the Emerald Tablets, which the Emerald Tablets is not really related to the Bible in many ways at all. But people hear stuff like the Emerald Tablets, and they they don't really know what they're looking at or what they're reading. People heard about the seven tablets of creation, or Enuma Elish. For those of you guys who follow me, you guys know I talk about Enuma Elish. I need to have a whole video where I talk about Enuma Elish some more. But people don't know how to actually read Enuma Elish. People have no training on how to read ancient texts. So people are finding out about ancient texts, but they don't know how to decipher these ancient texts that people are telling them about. So they're coming to all types of weird conclusions. So that's one issue that we have with this information becoming mainstream now, which ancient or Eastern context in relationships to the Bible, that's actually not really mainstream at all. But people are learning more about other things, and people are sick and tired of pastors not talking about this stuff in church. People are sick and tired of the the same old song and dance. So people are getting tired of it. People are getting upset with it, and I get it. I definitely get it, and I think that I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was explaining how we need for pastors to start talking about cultural context. When people first become Christians, we need to sit them down. We need to put them in a classroom, or we need to have some type of classes in the church where people can learn about the cultural context of their Bible. And my friend has said to me, they thought that was a good idea, but they had said to me that they said, I would rather just have somebody believe in Jesus opposed to people having to learn about cultural context, and it's too hard for them to understand. And my response to that was, haven't we been doing this for the last 1,500 years, 2,000 years, where we just try to give people Jesus with none of the cultural context of why we follow a Jewish Messiah? You know, Jesus was a Jew. Uh, you know, Yahweh is a Jewish God. Uh, Judaism obviously is an ancient Near Eastern religion. We're giving people Christianity, but they don't know anything about Judaism. And by the way, for the people watching, I'm not a black Hebrew Israelite. I'm just black. For people who want to know, I know people, white people come on here all the time. They're like, "Are you a Hebrew Israelite?" I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I've never been a Hebrew Israelite. But so the the church really the church really is to blame. The church is to blame. Uh, you could point fingers at a lot of other people, but the church is to blame, and the church is to blame because the church is supposed to be the first line of defense, so people don't go off into all these other crazy things. And what the church did for a long time is the church said, don't read any other text outside the Bible. All you need is the Bible. And now people are finding out, no, you definitely do need more than the Bible. You definitely need to know a little bit about Anuma Elish. You definitely need to know a little bit about the Epic of Gilgamesh. You definitely need to know about the Atrahasis Epic. You definitely need to know about the Baal cycle. You need to know about these other things so you can understand what is actually happening in the biblical text, so you can get a full understanding. You need to read this other stuff so you can get a full understanding. What do you do when you read in Psalms, what is it, 19, where it says Yahweh is the cloud rider, and people have been talking about the cloud rider motif. The cloud rider motif is a motif in the Baal cycle. It's a motif found in Canaanite god worship, where the Canaanite god Baal is known to ride on clouds. So what the Israelites did is the Israelites took that motif and then they applied it to Yahweh. And they do this with a whole lot of other things. I was explaining this to somebody, and the best way they could conceptualize it is they said, "Oh, that's kind of what happened in the Exodus account, where God he would shame Egypt by doing miracles that their gods were supposed to be able to do." Cool, great. If that is how you can conceptualize it, great. But the main thing is, we have an issue, we have a problem with this information is so scarcely talked about. That is the issue, and that is why we're at where we're at today in the church. Is because the one thing that should be counterintuitive to us is not intuitive to us. We know that when we read any other ancient text, if you were to pick up the Bell cycle, if you were to pick up Atrahasis, if you were to pick up any other ancient text, you would know that you need a commentary, you need somebody, you need an expert. You need an expert to tell you what this means. You would know that you need to look into some of the language. You would automatically know that this comes from a different culture. But when we look at the Bible is the only book where we look at it as if it dropped out the sky. And, you know, the biggest issue or the biggest reason for this is the American Christian Fundamentalist Church. And Christian fundamentalism it's been absolutely pervasive. I mean, even in Africa, the way how people think about God and everything in Africa, it comes from Christian fundamentalism. Christian fundamentalism travel all over the world. And I think the reason why is because Christian fundamentalism is so simple, is pretty easy. But the world is growing and technology is growing and people are getting a little bit smarter. So I think that I think that where the Christian church is going, the stuff I'm talking about, because I'll say this, the stuff I'm talking about is pretty ahead of its time. Telling people stuff like Adam and Eve didn't exist. Telling people stuff like the theory of evolution is not in any way or form. Um, it's not. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not. It doesn't go against the Christian faith. Telling people stuff like Moses didn't write the book of Genesis. Scholars have known about this for a long time, but I mean, this stuff is pretty ahead of its time for most people. You tell most people this stuff and they lose their mind. So I think within the next 10, 20 years, maybe 10 years, people will be really ripe and people will be ready for this information. So, but the Christian fundamentalist church is a cancer. It is a cancer and it needs to be stomped out and viciously destroyed. When people say the slogan that's been going around lately, there's no, what is it? There's no love, or no, it says there's no hate like Christian love. There's no hate like Christian love. That is in regard to Christian fundamentalism. Christian fundamentalism hasn't done anything but be a complete cancer and thorn inside of the world, of the world. So Christian fundamentalism has to go. It has to go, and I'm happy that it is going. I'm happy that more and more people are beginning to wake up, and people are deconstructing, and people are looking at their beliefs more critically and things like that. I'm happy for that. Absolutely happy for that. Absolutely ecstatic for that. We need that. So I've been on here for 12 minutes running my mouth. I thought people were gonna come in or whatever. Maybe I need a bigger audience or whatever the case may be. But this live will be up there, or it'll be up here. Just giving my rambling thoughts. I didn't feel like making a video and uploading it. I just figured I'd just go live, and hey, this will be up on my YouTube when I get done or whatever case may be. So, but it's time. It's time for Christian fundamentalism to go, and a lot of people are going to be offended when a lot of this scholarly information comes to the forefront. Scholars have known for years that the book of Isaiah wasn't written by Isaiah. All of Daniel wasn't written by Daniel. Moses didn't write Genesis. The Torah was redacted hundreds, if not thousands of times. The Gospels weren't written by the original disciples. And in the dogma of Christian fundamentalism, that is what has kept us from accepting the data, accepting the information. So I get it. I completely get it. But I gotta hop off here, guys. Been on here for 13 minutes now. Comment below. Tell me what you think. You know, do I have any Christian fundamentalists who follow me? I don't know. But if you are a Christian fundamentalist, let me know. If you're not, let me know. Comment below. All right, guys, I'm off here.